All right, we're back, y'all. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? We live streams. All right, so now we're gonna finish up with this exposing of the truth. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna take you a real deep dive into this, y'all. So let's bring up this video right here. We're gonna let this play out for a little bit while this is one of Tory Lanez's lawyers, and yeah, she has a lot to say here. So let's hear it.
Former DA George Gascon about a story on new evidence in this case. You don't have to believe in conspiracies to see the pattern. When evidence was about to come to light, Tory was nearly killed. So let's stop pretending this is complicated. Let's stop treating this like some cultural war flashpoint. This is about a man, a father, a son, Daystar Peterson, who has sat in a prison cell for over a year based on a case that wouldn't pass the smell test in any honest courtroom.
Oh man, so y'all heard.
Go, and I think that's a big component here that a lot of people aren't really talking about is, now that the case is starting to like bubble up and there's more things coming out. Yes, right. And so now it's really starting to come out, and we're really starting to see kind of what's really happening as far as like what we suspected as far as the details, the exacts of what exactly happened. It just was very cloudy for a real long time, and some of the corroborating witnesses, it just didn't make sense. So now they're starting to come out, of course, during a very like traumatic time where he just almost lost his life. It's bombshell information, man. It's insane.
Playing with a person like it's like if you know the truth and it come down to something like that, you kind of stay, and it's like taking this guy to work, thinking wherever the fuck. But if I'll say that again, fired again. You know what I'm saying? And shot you. But like keep that as a ongoing running theme. No, that happened. That happened. But it never happened. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean?
Right, good stuff.
It's become like I chalk it up to like also names. Like if two homies running together, you know what I mean? And you do something and trying to protect them. But you can't protect them, it's gonna fuck up somebody's life. Whether if you tell the truth, it won't. If you don't tell the truth, it will. Like, I get it on some homie shit like this. But my thing comes to tell the truth, because the person that is on the outside looking in, which is boy. I'm not saying that he was really outside. I don't think. But if it's gonna change the trajectory of his career, his life,
right?
It's like, why do it in that aspect when you could just say, "Hey, this is what actually happened," versus saying, "Oh no, he shot me," and writing with that, like you went on national TV
for a minute,
like you had a whole press run behind the fact of, and that's what got him convicted. Press run, like shot me, scream, shot me, but never did. Right. And if you go into some of that, it's that obviously it's just like, you can fire a pistol, there be some kind of gunpowder on it.
Some residue that can be traced back.
They said there was none, like 0.some, whatever. Yeah. But that means he never fired a gun at all. Right. So what? Yeah, you may have been mad at Tory about whatever his investment was at the time. But to put a man's life on the hook because he's mad, based also on the status of it. It's wow. It's not like, oh well, if I can't have Jordan, I ain't gonna ever have no other nigga. Like, bitch, you're making the style. You can do whatever you want. So you act. What people say, oh, she can match. So then, what you so worried about Tory? That he on the hook for you. 100%. And really winning that motherfucker and never told, never said what really happened because nobody would have never he had to say, oh, that's like, fuck. He can't say it.
Word.
So yes, it was up to somebody else. Who finally came out, it was up to him. He really almost got that man killed.
Right.
So that man in that prison held it down clearly. Everybody was fucking him for about a year and a half, 2 years straight. But, you know, prison is prison. He ain't gonna be straight for years. Something gonna happen. If he would just serve out that bid, you know what I mean?
Not bad.
Something gonna happen within 2 years.
Somewhere long enough.
You know, shit, 2 years in, 14 times bad. But you know, I know you guys know, but in hindsight, if you look at it, like you can't lie here.
This is like bombshell information. That's definitely just coming out, and I think, you know, now that we're starting to see it, you know, I think this is you know, this is some front page news type stuff right here.
It's good. This is good. This is a good topic. Just based off of that, because you know, you guys gave him shit. He deserved everything he gets. He lied. On a whole man, got that man convicted of doing some shit that he did not do. And that's who y'all like.
Now it's been, you know.
No, I mean, like, we don't know. No, and the sick part is, this is the sick part. Like, went on, like, actual people cry with all this weird bullshit.
And we're going to get into that in a minute, you know what I'm saying? We have like, those videos all here.
All of this shit.
Right.
And it's like, people are lying the whole time.
All right, so now we got the rest of the lawyer, and let's see what else he has to say. This is Tory Lanez head lawyer here.
Possession regarding a statement that was given to Unite the People by someone with information relevant to that case. The New York Post recently reached out to the prior district attorney, George Gascon, Megan Pete and her representatives, and Kelsey Harris and her representatives. The only party that responded last week was Megan Pete's representatives with a request for more information. A few days later, Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell. Unite the People represents Daystar Peterson in his appellate process. We filed an appellate brief and a writ of habeas corpus on his behalf. The district attorney's office has already responded. The case is fully briefed. We're just waiting for the appellate court's decision.
Right, so basically what they're saying is they filed paperwork on this to, you know, try to get it to be rectified on Tory's behalf, to try to get people to, you know, understand that this needs to be a retrial, because they're saying that there has been some fraudulent behavior on behalf of the DA, and I definitely can't, you know, argue against that given this evidence that's now being come out. And so now we gotta go ahead and rectify that. You know?
If we're not sure who shot the gun, and we test everybody for the resident.
Word.
How the fuck only Tory should be, nobody else should be.
Right.
They ain't tested. And then when you even test them, you don't gotta let them know.
Word.
So then you say that, oh well, we're just gonna put it on Tory. That's
literally
this is trumped up. This is trumped up charges, man. Right. Real life. Like, that's the real. I say trumped up charges. How do the testing for the other people for gun powder not get brought into court? But it's only Tory. But then when you test Tory, he has nothing. But he still ends up in jail on a 10-year bill. Clearly, he was never going to 10 years dead because But how many of our black men have been in this spot? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not to get too deep on that, but how many people have been accused of never even just sat in jail? A lot of people for a long time. And oh, new evidence. Like, man, the initial evidence could be enough. Is America fucking with us for that you think? You know what I'm saying? In New York, I'm just saying, in order to fire it, I mean, fire it doesn't. They say, oh no, he didn't have none. So if he had none, I mean, he didn't fire none. So what is he in jail for?
Yeah.
I'm saying, I know that sounds simple, but that's literally how simple it was.
Yeah, man. And that's kind of, I think that's why, like, right now, you know, we're trying to really deep dive into these facts, because there was definitely some foul play here on behalf of the DA and also some collusion. And, you know, of course, like on the conspiracy theory tip, just the timing of him, you know, being attacked and this coming out all of a sudden, right after, the day after, it's just, you know, the timing is, you have to be a person who, you know, raises your eyebrows and says, ooh, that's interesting.
Be a conspiracy.
Right.
But I'm saying, just open your eyes and kind of look at how she's falling into place. Like, man, I don't know. That for somebody like me, I think we kind of, you know,
critical thinking. Use your critical thinking skills.
That just seems kind of wild for it to go that way. Like, man, that person almost loses his life.
Word.
Been in there for 2 years, had no issue. But something's about to come out with your face that, because if you pay attention, they're telling you, like, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out. I'm going to get out. Way before you see it. You didn't say that.
Right.
And then when something compelling happens, this is the result. Like, oh, that person takes somebody else who was there to correlate with the story that he was already saying the whole time.
Nice.
But it wasn't taken into account. It's like not.
Right.
And what she talking about, because you know, and you know, a lot of, and I, you know, I bad for it. I'm pretty sorry now.
No, we are said we're presenting the facts of what's going on, and then we're just kind of going from there.
75% of y'all pro men, like, oh, they can't be shot. It's like,
the facts now.
Come on, you got fired the whole shit up. I feel like part of that is why the like, oh, everybody's against me, but none of it. And it's clear that he's telling me at this point.
So yeah, let's continue. Let's see what's up with the lawyer here. We were willing to wait for the appellate process to play out, but given that brutal, unprovoked attack, we felt it necessary to come here today to provide you with this information. It is our intention to make a request to the governor to either pardon or commute the sentence of Mr. Peterson, so that when he recovers from this attack, he's not returned to a jail cell, but that he's allowed to go home and recover.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah. We thought he should have been there, dude. Seriously. Like, we really keeping it, you know. And that's, you know, that's like the lost art these days. There's no evidence that ever shows the person wrong. And wrong enough to be killed. And that was a fucking lie.
Right. And now, of course, like we said, like when the facts start to come out, we're starting to see at least that like there's definitely some collusion here. And so I think the lawyer, as he said, they presented this on behalf of Tory because, you know, the severity of the situation that happened in jail, in prison. So now I think there's a part. Let's see here. I think let's continue. Yeah, I want to see what else he has to say. Yeah, because I think there's more after this because it's going.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Miss Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others.
Okay, so this is the bodyguard of Kelsey, who's Meg Thee Stallion's best friend.
The bitch you shot the gun.
Yeah,
no,
but I'm trying to help the timeline.
I get it.
And then basically, as well, Tory was fucking with her too, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
what he was doing.
There was some shit
He
going
didn't
on.
shoot the gun, so
Yeah.
it don't matter.
No, but I'm saying like that's what they're saying is he heard. The bodyguard is saying that he was privy to those conversations that they had prior and also after this. So we'll continue on that part. Let's see here, because basically that's what he's saying here. Let's see.
Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something.
All right, so he's basically saying that he was not under any NDAs or anything that could hold him back from saying this kind of stuff. Yeah, right. And so now I think this kind of has come up, and like you had mentioned, it fucked with his conscience so bad that he had to say something because this was a terrible situation. Yeah, so let's continue, man. Let's hear what else he has to say.
He did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Miss Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson
down it went off 2 more times, and that bitch is laying close. But it already got squeezed 3 times.
And apparently he just took it. Like he didn't allow her to even blame him. And then after that, I think she got immunity. Then she kind of played into her having nothing to do with this, and it's a little wild because now of course all this is coming out from her direct security guard. Right?
Great. I gotta go tell you.
Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. Passenger side is where Miss Harris was sitting.
That's what he says. It says Miss Harris, who was basically Kelsey, was the one who was sitting in the passenger side. So basically what he's saying is like the shot came from that side. That's what he's saying.
So if you really break down the whole, yes, and I know what it is. Like, oh, well, sorry, fucking on both of them. Does that warrant putting on your weapon on a fucking pumped up fucking gun charge? You never even fired. Like, you gotta think about a man shooting at a woman. Think about how that looked.
Word.
And if you've been around guns enough, you would know, like, man, something up close, I'm hitting shit. This bitch had a fucking glass in her foot and said she was shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, a shot, if it ricocheted, even whatever you trying to say, man, that ain't. Man, this ain't a 12 gauge. This ain't a bullet that spreads. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what shell? What it's glass, bro, and that's just foot. And you said you got shot. While Tory was trying to take the gun from Kelsey or get her for shot shooting you. Fucking weirdo. Why?
Yeah.
And I'm put in the cool. Thought your career was gonna fucking take off from that shit. But then God is real. God is real. They go on. The truth gonna come out. God is real, bro. You can't do people like that, bro. That's too, and at that time, Tory was popular. Right. That's too heightened. That is still people. Right. And yes, we can bring it back. We can bring it back down. We can go from status back down to just household, domestic violence. Oh, the woman says in the street. Nah, man, that shit don't always be going like that, man. It don't. It do not be always going like that. The women be inciting violence a lot these days, more than niggas. If we just keeping it a beat. In this scenario, that's what happened. Or, yeah, it wasn't Meg, but her homegirl did. She thought it was her homegirl, but she hot because, oh yeah, we talking on both of them. You got hot about it. You guys had a span about it. And then she took it to another level. But within that level, he somehow got a gun. He's good. Right. And then blame Tory. And then
literally where we're at. And so now
that's literally the story.
Court being addressed for this shit.
Mind you, none of us will never ever know the real story. The actual shit that happened. This is all speculation. Right. This is all, alleged. How people were with the people that were there. But if you're going off of the facts, it makes sense more than people would give it the honor of making sense. And I'm just telling you, shit got colluded. And turned into something that it wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah, man, the guy took off.
That's live. And don't get me wrong, I understand whatever. That's your best Megan, that's your best man, that's your kind. Because if she could shoot, he might have fucking really hit. And if she could really shoot. But she was so mad at you that she would say, oh, I'm gonna shoot her. Literally. That's wild. And then we blame it on Tory because token black man. Nigga with some money, y'all with us, if you can do whatever you want, fucking like both of us. Let's just fuck it up.
And so I think now that's why these this new maybe lawyer group came together to try to make something happen.
It's a new lawyer group. It's the same lawyer. It's a new state. They got a state.
This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete. It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case. For example, there were 3 potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson, even though unknown DNA was found on the gun. Why wasn't Miss Harris's DNA taken?
I don't know, dog.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of negligence on the DA side where they're not doing their job to check every single option that is out there available to them to be able to make that happen,
there's
bro.
Unknown DNA on the fucking pistol.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you guys tested Tory, and the unknown DNA on the pistol don't match Tory's. So that means after the people that were there on that night, out of one of them.
Real talk.
When none of their tests made it to wherever it was going to be, or the
they didn't even test him. That's what he's saying. Like, they didn't even
try. I know what he's saying, but I also know how it would get played. It'll get played, so we did test it. Why would it make it? Why would it make sense? Why would it?
What happened?
How does it not make it?
Right.
Tory shit made sense. That test alone should alleviate him out of the situation. He shouldn't even be a suspect. But because Meg Stein said, oh no, Tory shot him. Fuck the DNA. Fuck the fact. Fuck all of that. Tory shot him. Because she said it out of her mouth. Like, nah, bro. We watched enough Law and Order in our lives. So that's not
Word.
nigga DNA. You don't fucking have it. And how the fuck am I on the hook?
Yeah, what it is. So look, let's see what else this guy has to say. Here it goes. We see, and then bam.
Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense? Why wasn't the driver of the car, Mr. Jaquan Smith's DNA taken? Or was it taken and again, simply not given to the defense? We don't know. It should have been taken. It is Unite the People's understanding, regular LAPD practice at a crime scene like that, anybody who's there, the DNA is taken. Another irregularity. Why, at Ms. Harris's police interview, was a non-lawyer, non-family member record company executive allowed to participate?
All right, so now it's getting deeper, right? Where now they're saying that there were some record label people that were attached to this as well, or they were like in the process during all this happening, which was extremely sketchy.
Around
I don't know about that, man. That sounds sketchy.
Around that time, that's around the time when Lanez was going nuts.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? She probably had the top 10 in the chart. So yeah, her record company gonna show up and try to vouch for her lie. Of course. She's up right now.
Word.
We need the money. We got, man, she making too much money. So let her go down. So to even have her in any of this, you don't even know how that's happening. But my thing becomes, Lanez Stallion, at the end of the day, you are a victim. Your fucking best friend shot at you. Okay.
Word.
That's it. That doesn't affect your career. But you just stymied a whole nother man's career for lying. What the fuck did Kelsey do? Did somebody tell me what? I don't even know.
She's just Megan's best friend. Like that's just her official title. It's Megan's best friend. But yeah, she doesn't do anything. I mean, clearly she was. And clearly she was also with Tory at some point. So maybe that played a part. But yeah, but I think
what do we know her for? What do we know her for? What do we
Megan's
know
best friend. Megan's best friend. So now, so now I think we're in the space where now it's coming out, and so we'll continue with what the lawyer had to bring to the table because these are bombshell allegations.
Highly irregular situation. Normally, we see cases strangers are not allowed in these things, but it was in this case. All of these things point to the highly irregular nature of his trial and his conviction. It is our contention that he was wrongly convicted. And while we at first were willing to let the process play out, it is our contention now that if he is not pardoned or released promptly, he may never come out. And that would be the ultimate injustice, is that he gets killed in prison for something he did not do.
That's where we're at. Sorry, they just damn near happened.
Literally.
He just literally almost got iced.
Yeah, I mean,
he should not even be there.
That's kind of, that's basically to encapsulate where we're at in today, in 2025 on this, because I think, right now we're kind of, I guess, waiting for more a movement, I guess, on kind of what the next phases are on this. But yeah, it's good.
Don't be nice about it. For certain practice, depending on who you are, how popular you are, or not popular. Some niggas is guilty of the same thing. Some niggas is guilty off the rip. Yep. And in this scenario, because it took it looked a certain way. Tory was guilty of the off the rip.
Yep.
Being pussy, not doing shit, bro. Straight up. That's just how I'm looking. Because that's what you guys were willing to do.
Right.
You gave it to him, he gave it. Y'all got a quarrel about it. That's gotta figure out. But y'all don't fuck over. You don't fuck over it his whole life. That's good. Just go out for the for the young ladies in life. We always talk about the young boys. Here go for the young ladies. I got a daughter, so if y'all don't want to listen to it, cool. You don't fuck over a nigga because of your decision. Because what's between your legs is your responsibility. So you choose to get it, that's on you. It's not on Tory. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all chose to do that. Y'all grown. Y'all chose to do that, and he lived how he lived.
Word.
He's a rapper. Like, what do you? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. Seriously, dude. Like,
and Megan's a rapper too. She's famous as well, so she holds another accountability too, where she could have definitely made better decisions in this as well. You
so Tory just basically looked at it like, all right, well, yeah, Meg. I've been tapping it a little bit here and there, but I also like her friends too, and I know I can get her friends, but they don't do shit that she do. She's Megan Thee Stallion. She got a name. She don't got the same kind of setup. You know what I'm saying? But I like how they look, so I'm gonna pop one of them too. And that's what we did. You pop one of them and that's their best. But that don't constitute changing a nigga's whole life. and you know what I'm saying? And accusing the nigga of some shit he didn't do. And then now he's in the clink for 2 years from just being a rapping ass nigga. Or swagged out ass nigga that just do what he wanted to do. Y'all didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean,
because y'all mad because he did that.
Yeah.
That's like a normal thing. Like, I'm not gonna say a normal thing, but bitches get cheated on, niggas get cheated on all the time.
Right. But then once the police get involved,
when
there's
the police
a whole
get
other
involved,
layer to that.
And the layer and
right.
Usually the girl does it.
Right.
But like, this is kind of past that. This is like,
he's been convicted now.
Yeah,
he's been convicted now. There was a consequence to it.
Right.
They sent him to prison. He gets to prison, and then of course these details start coming out. They come out. He gets stabbed, and now we're kind of where we're at right now, where they're now trying their best to get him out as soon as possible because literally his life is on the line right now. Yeah, like there's a concise like attack that just happened, and so clearly his legal team are doing everything they can to go ahead and bring this to the forefront because apparently what he was saying as well is like they were trying to wait for to go through it doing it the right way, but
he would have got out
an impromptu.
But it probably would have took another year.
Right.
But clearly, you don't have another
word
because he's got stabbed 14 times. So yeah, you probably don't even got another year.
He's definitely hurt right now.
For this to be based off of a lot. Like, I don't want that to get lost in the shuffle. Like, I get it. You guys like Megan Thee Stallion. You like her as a twerker. You like her as a rapper. Like she lied on his name, putting him in jail for 10 fucking years. And he almost died.
Yes. Due to
and whether y'all know it or not, he's out here. He's not like just at a random jail. He's out here. California.
Word.
Like shit. So it's like put him in there off of a lie. Tory, we all know Tory's trash.
Right.
But you put him in the bingo for 10 and he then got that 14 times.
Right.
He shouldn't have never even been.
Yeah.
So I just, and you went and national. This was like national. You went on national platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And put this man in his spot and just made him out to be a bad guy, the guy he's not. That's not cool.
No.
At all. There's nothing tight about that. It's, man. This and I got a sick fucking statement on it. And I'm done. I'm done. And I'm done even talking about it. Bro, if you in a setup like Megan and Tory was, if you lie like that, you should have to go serve the rest of that stuff. Yeah. I'm just kidding. If you lie like that,
yeah.
You get a nigga 10 years. And they was a full-blown lie. And they say, prove it about it. You should have to go serve the rest of that kingdom. Straight up. And I'm talking like, I get it status-wise, I'm not even talking status. I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about domestic violence.
Word.
Type shit. Like a bitch say, "Oh, I won't call the cops," and they come to your house and they take you gotta go to jail for whatever, how many days. She said you did X, Y, Z. If that shit is a lie, bro, she's gonna have to go serve the rest of it. Period. If you lie about somebody doing anything to you, you know what I'm saying? And it changes that person's livelihood. Whatever it was that changed that livelihood, you gotta go do the rest. Man. If we find out the truth. If we don't find out the truth, and then you end up serving that whole shit, damn, that's crazy. But if we find out anything before that sentence is up, you need to go serve the rest of it.
Yeah,
for lying the way that you lie. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what.
Not on national TV, man.
Yeah, that's what's kind of encapsulating this, I guess, as well. It's just like it's taken over, you know, social media just because of that. And I think the truth and the lies all being exposed at once, you know. And so yeah. I think, like you said, like people feel some type of way because they basically virtually are saying that, you know, Megan's just going to walk for kind of this really, really effed up situation. And so, yeah, you're right. There are people who want, you know, to have some sort of rectification for that, where it's like, yo, like this girl put this man in prison, and so now he's on the verge of, you know, fighting for his life, you know, and of course, like, you know, they're saying, I guess he'll be okay, but still, this has probably been the most traumatic time in his life ever, you know.
Hit with a knife 14 times.
Who wants to go to jail in general?
Who wants
you know
to
what I mean?
For something I did not
his
do.
public perception, all of that, you know, he's gone through a lot, you feel me? And some of this stuff he will never get back. And so I think we have to, you know, we have to be careful about what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, this a man that was kind of in that kind of streaming realm before Kai.
Right.
You niggas gotta understand that. He was already busted, bro. And that live streaming shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He missed it out on, you know, you gotta think about how much money I'm gonna just go artist. Look at the money. He invested out money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Tory, bro, when we was in COVID, who the fuck was he talking? That's how a lot of motherfuckers even know sports.
All right, well, hey, look, we got our first comment in the chat.
Oh, we got a comment.
Yeah. All right, so someone said, I feel like he should have said what happened on the stand. Nobody would have called him a snitch.
But it wouldn't have changed nothing. They already didn't believe it.
Yeah, but shout out to I think his dude's name is New Deal, New Me. Salute to you, brother. But yeah,
sitting on the stand it wouldn't change. Everybody was already beat off of what Megan and Stallion had stated about it.
Right, bro.
It was already geeking. Like, oh yeah. So if she said he shot her, he shot her.
Right.
It was like a instant. Yep. The riding with Megan. Whatever she said happened.
Right.
Like, yeah. No, that was a lie.
Yeah, man.
You guys roll with a lie.
Right. And so I think, like, you know, kind of to whatever New Deal, to his point, but I think what has to be said here as well is the fact that, like, yeah, like, I think, and this is just my opinion, but I think Tory didn't take the stand based on lawyer advisory. Like, I don't know, at least from kind of the attitude that I got from Tory, he seems like he would have been willing to get on the stand. But it seems like, you know, like somebody probably advised him to not get on the stand. And so as a person, that's what you have to do. You have to listen to your advisory from your lawyers. If they're telling you, hey, don't take the stand, you don't take the stand. And I don't think, you know, I mean this respectfully, like, I don't think he cares about the public perception at this point when he's being accused of shooting a woman. Like, being a snitch, it don't matter no more any comparison to that.
Because
like,
I gotta let you know.
Facts, like you're saying that you shot a woman, bro.
I'm gonna
like,
tell you every single thing,
right?
For you to know that I did not shoot her. You look at that like, oh, my thing is, what would he be snitching?
Man,
what's the snitch? On what?
Right.
I'm just telling you flat out, like, hey, I ain't fired at that.
Yeah.
If he was snitching, he probably would have implicated. You would have been like, no, I didn't shoot her. She shot her.
Facts.
He never stated.
No, because I like I said, I think there was a conversation that they had when he was in jail, and he called her and he apologized, whatever. But I think as well,
never implicated.
Yeah, that's something I think. But I think Kelsey and Tory have more of an emotional connection, and I think Tory and Megan have more of a physical connection. Like they was, you know, more of a physical type hooking up type situation. So I think, you know what I mean? And I think like now you're seeing that play out where it seems as though he was protecting Kelsey versus him telling the truth and saying that she was the one who shot her, you know?
Which is why he never said it.
Right.
Because he knew what the ramifications were.
Right.
If I say who shot the gun,
yeah,
this is a bitch that I really kind of like. I really like her more than I like Megan.
Word.
And so, like that. You know, Megan got wind of that. That's what the argument was. Like, bitch, come on, man. I won't go there. I won't go there.
Right, but that's just real talk.
Argument,
yeah,
you know, like,
that's real talk.
You know, but this nigga really fucking me.
Word.
So yeah, we get around each other and we're going to Kylie's party, but we're not gonna not go to Kylie's party.
And if I feel the urge to pop Kylie, and I'm single, I can do that, right? But you know, I said, I think
I'm just giving
there's a lot of
giving like the whole
synopsis.
realm of things. Like, man, these are things that probably happen.
They did happen
because I've been in those spots before with rappers. So imagine this is with money, and I got money too.
Right.
Yeah, we live it.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I just think, like you said, and you made that's like the greatest point of the day. You got the greatest point of the day. Kelsey, the bitch that actually fired him. Mm-hmm. This is part of the reason that she fired him because he had a different kind of connection with Tory.
Like she was really hurt about him fucking with Meg.
But the tabloids and all of that shit is gonna play it like, oh, Tory's on Megan stuff. He probably wasn't even really on it. He probably just hit because it was hit. Yeah, and she's supposed to be the bitch, but Cub probably played it as though like, I don't know, I'm pretty on her.
Yeah, and I mean, at least from what it seemed like, it made it seem like Kelsey was definitely hurt about the entire situation and the fact that I guess in the past there's been situations where Megan has, kind of stolen Kelsey's boyfriends or vice versa, whatever. And so this one maybe reached that final, final point to where it triggered her to want to do something crazy, especially, like I said, they were definitely drunk. And you know how women can be when they get drunk. You just never know. All bets are off.
Yeah,
and so, of course, that, and maybe, I don't know, Hollywood parties, but they be on some other shit too. Tooting that yayo. You feel me? So, you feel me? Tooting that shit up. So, if they're, tooted up and they on, you feel me, a little weed, they drinking, they're going from party to party, people are corroborating that they are all belligerent. Yeah, these type of things happen in these type of cases. Things get really fucking weird when you're that drunk and you're that upset and there's a lot of feelings involved.
In that situation, when you get to thinking,
word,
and people are attesting to the fact that they were really drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I don't remember every single thing that I was really drunk. So like some of the statements may not be as official as they would be if I was drunk.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Some of the things I may have said when I was drunk, and that goes for everybody. That's not
right.
But I'll put myself in that realm. May have said all kinds of shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of it.
Word.
That's a part of me.
Facts.
So it's like you got this drunk, blah 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 blah. But are you sure that this scenario went the way that you're saying Megan's done? And that's my problem with it.
Right.
It went on a national platform after this, so this is exactly how it fucking went. I know for 100%. Comes out like, but actually the whole opposite way.
Man.
That's what my hope.
And it played out on the grandiose stage, but now, of course, like you said, like there are corroborating stories and truths coming out now, and so Of course, like we're covering this from the beginning, and it's been a very interesting story to follow because this is 100% an example of lessons that can be learned from how critical and serious things are when you get into situations, especially with
These kind of
you feel me, with women and men, and a lot of feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys got to be careful out here because at the end of the day, if you're messing with the chick in the wrong way, bro, this could be you, big dog.
No, I got you.
So be careful.
Sure,
Be careful who you hooking up with and who you're messing with because at the end of the day,
as fucking lightweight it is how relationships go these days. You know what I mean? As far as marriage and all that, we got a 50% rate.
Word.
You gotta understand that plays a part in it.
Yeah, man.
It's like as serious as you could be with a woman, you could also just be serious by yourself. She may not even be that serious, and vice versa.
Facts.
As serious as she could be, you may be playing. It will behoove you to just get an understanding with whatever chick you deal with, chicks,
right?
Niggas, however, plural or one, whatever. It will behoove you to get an understanding so that you don't end up in a spot like this. That Tory, where people are just saying whatever to protect themselves, or people are saying wild shit to get at you because of how you handle the situation. Because a lot of people ain't gonna necessarily like how you handle certain situations, especially when it comes to multiple women. Right. So, I mean, in that scenario, yes, or you got to start another stick. But just because you got to start another stick, don't necessarily mean that you got to go to the stick. Off of a full-blown lie. That shit is wild,
I think at this point, you feel me? Like, this is a story that, from us, we're going to keep following as it develops. Because this is something that we really, really are, passionate about. And we really wanna, you know what I'm saying? We really want to see
it out.
We really want to see how this plays out.
I want to drop it out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dog.
He was never supposed to be.
Yeah, man. And to everyone out there, we wish we could be on longer, but our battery on the computer getting low.
You feel
me? We've been getting low all day.
We already dropped early.
Facts. We dropped twice already. So, keep up with with the live streams and also the podcast. Please subscribe, follow, hit the like button. We appreciate everybody who came through. Y'all left some comments, man. We had, our first little live stream, commenters in the chat.
Yeah,
so salute to y'all. You feel me? Yeah. So we getting there, man. You know what I'm saying? Once we, keep building on this platform, bro, we gonna thank y'all every single time. So salute to the chat, salute to everybody out there. Make sure to like and subscribe on your way out. Anything you got for the people before we did?
Man, I love everybody. Love you guys. We love doing this. We're going. We're gonna keep this fire time. Love you guys.
All right, man. That's it, man. Elite Media, Elite Live Streams. We out. Peace.